right, here we go. With this shutdown, we're gonna call it. Can't say the word. They've been flagging videos and making it real hard to search, over this stuff right here. You mention the word, and you're not one of these mainstream medias. It's gonna be hard to find your videos. But let's look. Just look at this. What he said, real quick. I don't want to hold it up.
Ryan, he's a leader at the World Health Organization, announced that in response to the spread of this virus, authorities may have to enter people's homes and remove family members, presumably by force.
Now, the guy about to come up for y'all who, may not be familiar. Let me show you. This guy. The WHO is the World Health Organization. Basically, that's the national version of the CDC, Center for Disease Control. So we get the international scoop from these guys. And this is one of the officials. Listen to what this clown had to say.
In most parts of the world, due to lockdown, most of the transmission that's actually happening in many countries now is happening in the household, at family.
Now, right from the get go, you know, he's trying to indicate the problem is not outside, it's in our own personal homes.
Family level. In some senses, transmission has been taken off the streets and pushed back into family units. Now we need to go and look in families to find those people who may be sick and remove them and isolate them in a safe and dignified manner.
Now, see, this is why we got to look at all sources of news and try to seek out the truth. You know, I'm a truth seeker, just in general. So that's what I call it because I'm not here to pick a side. I'm not here to, you know, to, play like I'm a Democrat, Republican, just independent thinker, truth seeker. What's the facts? Now, what you have, happening right now, this is all just like a pre-trial. This is like a test run for them. The real end game is going to come towards the end of the year or early next year. You know, you got a lot of people terrified of what's going on. And you got this guy who's trying to set up for next year. Excuse me. You got this guy trying to set up for next year. So he's already putting that idea out there that, with this situation going on, that the problem might be inside our homes. Like, what? So you're going to be coming in people's homes. See, this is why they didn't open the schools yet. Because they're trying to figure out a way to start taking your kids away from you. So you're going to come in our homes and quarantine our kids? Take our kids and isolate them?
Just so you know, we're
No. Let me fast forward. See, this is why these videos be taking so long. I should have had this written down. The one guy, I'm trying to think, is this the video? The one guy said he's trying to, the one governor, he's trying to pay people to snitch. California? Now, you got these news people who's acting like, look at it. New York suffers the single deadliest, day for their fatalities, right? Now, this is today's headline. CBS, another one of these fake news. Now, you got a movement going where you got people literally going to the hospitals. Watch this real quick. Now, let me go back. I might have to edit this.
Hi guys. Today I was just on the Facebook and found this video. People are still trying to find those comparison original video. He didn't show us the original video. So let's go to the.
I don't think there's anybody out there who can argue with a straight face that this is a real human being that they're showing in this. So, YouTube community, they're showing dolls, and they're showing these New York hospitals, Brooklyn and whatnot, and here we got a clear instance of a doll. So the first one, as I said, you can debate that. You cannot debate this. There's nobody on.
All right, so look at this. Look at this, guys. Associated Press, 331 dislikes, 76 likes. Comments are turned off. Their headline was, they're overran. Overran. You know, they showing all of this.
Well, Elmhurst Hospital has hit capacity, and there's about 545 beds in here, and they're all filled with COVID patients. Most of the other patients have been moved to other area hospitals. Those
Now, that's the thing. If you're searching mainstream media, this is what they show you. You know, the Washington Post, you know, a lot of these mainstream medias. Now, you have people, literally, actually, you got a movement going on with people actually trying to find out whether that's true or not. A lot of these places, it's just not true.
Alright, guys, so we're gonna go and film one of the Chicago suburban hospitals.
Now, look, that was New York, so I'm gonna show y'all New York when they're also in this video. But a lot of these places that they're acting like, you turn on your mainstream media, you would think they overran. It's not.
It's pretty dead. There's nobody outside. Let's go to the one of the main entrances. Pedestrian crossing. Oh, the parking lot looks through the main hospital front entrance. We did that, and there's no cars out there.
They're trying to scare people. But look, let's. A lot of these places is just straight fraud. A lot of these places. See, I don't use Google. I use DuckDuckGo. But let me show you. Let me go to the news articles. Look at this. This ain't new. Look at the date. This stuff ain't new. It's hard trying to make a video and I can't use the name. But they've been pushing for this for years. 2013, that's 7 years ago. 7 years ago. That's when this article was written on BBC. You know, the date I printed this. This is their stuff right here. Now Michigan, this is another one. They're trying to get people to start snitching on your neighbors. This is what they're trying to keep us trapped in the house, have people start telling on people. Now Michigan is crazy. Not only are they trying to get people to start violate, start telling on their neighbors on, your neighbors who's not staying at home properly. Mind you, a lot of the stuff you can get right from the government website. This is from the governor's website, where if the doctors are not prescribing, you know, what the government tells you to subscribe, they're gonna pull your license. Uh, right here. Now, mind you, this is in the state of Michigan. Whoever this chick is, I'm not from there, so I don't know y'all governor. I mean, I know this is the governor, but whatever this clown, like whatever her mo is, I don't get it. You heard about this hydroxychloroquine or however you say it. Well, Michigan, Michigan ain't about that. She threatened all the doctors and pharmacists. Now, mind you, this is Detroit news story. So this is your local news. This is you can go look it up. This is the link right here on the actual governor's website, michigan.gov. So it's warning physicians and pharmacists that for them not to fill the order, even if the doctor gives them a prescription. It's a letter that it openly threatens administrative action against the license of doctors that prescribe it. So threaten to pull their licenses away. Which is nonsense. And this letter it requires for the health care provider to report, you know, s- they're snitching again, snitch on their fellow physicians who are prescribing those medications. You know, this stuff is this stuff is getting stupid. So far, they're trying to control every aspect. Now, because people ain't seeing it yet, nobody, people ain't really believing it. That's what this end game is about. You got the bull from the WHO, the World Health Organization. I know I got a lot of tabs open, but the guy from the world, this guy. I mean, listen to what he said.
presumably by force.
In most parts of the world, due to lockdown, most of the transmission that's actually happening in many countries now is happening in the household, at family level. In some senses, transmission has been taken off the streets and pushed back into family units. Now we need to go and look in families to find those people who may be sick and remove them and isolate them in a safe and dignified manner.
He literally said, and go and find the people in your home and remove them. Huh? Y'all seen them Hitler stories? How do y'all think Hitler got in the office? How y'all think Hitler got into power? He wasn't no jerk off. He came like he was the hero. People loved him. People supported him. Back in those times. You don't notice it when you in the midst of it because a lot of people protesting. You know, remember Obama? Remember Barack Obama? How much of a well-spoken guy he was. He was pulling all types of effery with the healthcare. I ain't really trying to get on it, but understand something. When you got a good speaker selling you something, so it ain't gonna come from Trump. When you got a good speaker, that's when they start pushing stuff. But the biggest look. Let's look at the UK, right? You got here in America, they still acting like all of this stuff is so deadly. Now this is in the United Kingdom. Now they classified it as a highly they call it HCID, right? See the abbreviations? High consequence infectious disease. Now, back in January of 2020, a few months ago, that's what they classified it as because they didn't want to take no chances. So they started doing a lot of tests on it. They did some reviews on it, medical updates right here. And they determined later on that several modules. This is on gov.uk. This is not no. Again, I'm not dealing with no conspiracies yet. No conspiracy. This is all facts. Everything I'm saying is all facts so far. They determined that several features have now changed. In particular, you know, because it's not. They don't consider it classified as the ACID anymore. Why? Because of the mortality rate is extremely low. They got better, greater clinical awareness. They have up to date information that shows that it's not really that contagious and it's not that deadly. Now, here, remember 9/11? I don't even want to get into the whole Ebola thing, the anthrax scare, the swine flu yet. But just remember 9/11. You know, I was in ninth grade when that happened, 2001, ninth grade. You know, I didn't really know what the heck was going on in the real world. But how many of us wanted us to start killing those Muslims? The Iraqis and all that, because that's what the news told us who did it. They showing the videos of the Iraqis cheering. We don't know what context of that video. Now, what I'm saying is that's what they doing now. Playing on your emotions. So we can't think rationally so they can pour the effery. You know, that 9/11 event had us in war for years, all the way up until Barack Obama, 2 years into his presidency. Now, you know, that's just listen, dude. This stuff is getting out of hand. Let me look at another video. Hey yo, listen to this nonsense. Now, I was driving home. I was in Seattle, Washington, let's say. I was in Redmond, but still, Seattle, Washington. I'm driving home. Now, in this video, I'm in Montana. Bozeman, Montana. Road was frozen. This was on Wednesday, March 26th, I think. I say it in the video, but just what are the odds? All right, look. It's the radio. 5:30.
You are listening to the Montana Department of Transportation Roadway Information System, transmitting on 530 kilohertz near Bozeman, Montana under the call sign WBEY 666. Thank you for listening. Remember to drive safely and always wear your seatbelt.
Now what are the odds that I'm saying 666? What are the odds of that? What the heck is that about? It told me to tune in.
You are listening to the Montana Department of Transportation Roadway Information System, transmitting on 530 kilohertz near Bozeman, Montana under the call sign WBEY 666. Thank you for listening. Remember to drive safely and always wear your seatbelt.
The sign was flashing on the road.
You are listening to the Montana Department of Transportation Roadway Information System.
The sign flashing on the road. See, like I said, I'm somewhere. Now, the context of this video, I'm driving home. I was heading back to Philly. So, at this point, I was in Montana, Bozeman, Montana. The temperature dropped drastically here. I was driving fine. The temperature dropped drastically. And I came up and the road was frozen. It scared the crap out of me. They didn't salt the road, none of this. And as I'm driving on this extremely frozen road, one of them signs flashing that says, tune into the radio here, one of them blue signs. So I tuned in. And that was the message that was playing. I'm like, what in the F? That ain't even helpful. Up in this mountain, it's dangerous as hell up here. It's only in the 20s. The road's frozen. And tell me to tune into that. They don't salt up here apparently, so
Department of Transportation Roadway Information System.
It's quite darn dangerous. Crazy. Wasn't even sure what that was about. Yeah, I mean, I'll show you real quick. This is
To their
wild.
currency reserves in central banks, which otherwise would typically be in dollars or euros.
Now,
Somewhere,
this was
Bozeman,
Montana. Now this was right before that message. I don't even remember, dude. That trip was so long. I don't know which one was before I recorded, but this is what caused a lot of that. You know, the pile up. This is the only traffic I've seen really on the road.
For many years in the
Freaking road frozen solid, and it's March 26th, I think, Thursday, whatever it is. Freaking road is frozen. This guy drove off the road, almost had me bang out. Literally, that right there, that white patch you see, that's the other lane. Now, this was the most traffic I've seen the whole ride home. You know, I'll just show you real quick. Now, I'm currently I guess I'm in Pittsburgh. I literally just drove back from Washington State. I was already up in Redmond. That's where my job was at. Had to drive through to Seattle and up into Arlington, get my stuff out of storage, and then I made my way back to Philly. I left Wednesday at like 3:30 p.m. in Washington time. The whole way back it was like this. The roads are empty. Now right now in Eastern time, it's Friday, what is it? 27th, March 27th. It's 1:20 p.m. over here. And the road's been like this the whole way back. Except for when I went to Montana. The only reason there was traffic in there is because for some reason it was a darn blizzard. A heavy snowstorm that was in the middle of Montana somewhere. I was driving in between these two mountains and a car flipped off the road. And the roads was frozen. Now, like I said, I pretty much drove straight. You know, I'll I'll pop my timeline up if somebody really think I didn't do this in that short of a time. You know, because I keep myself tracked at all times. You know, just in case. You never know what kind of effort going to happen. But that's what it was. Arizona. Yeah, that's another one. There's so much stuff going on across the country. Like I said, but we do got the movement of film your hospital. You know, you got the movement now where people are trying to see what's up with these hospitals because a lot of these things apparently they're empty. Now, look at this. They're actually laying off. I'm not even sure if I got the article. Let me see if I got the article real quick before I. No, Fox News. Hey, let me show you this real quick. The current, this was 2017, 2018. Freedom on four. Yeah, I'm at 2018, 2019. So this is the flu season. You got this is how many people. Now, mind you, this is from the CDC. No conspiracies. 35.5 million people who had the symptoms. Medical visits, 16.5 million. Now, this is 2018 to 2019 flu season. So that's from fall to the winter. You know, see, this is the flu season, not the whole year. But let's just call it for the year. That time period. You know, let's just, see. Look, here you go right here. The flu season begins in November. You know, so I'm not making these numbers up. I'm not making this timeline up. This is according to them. And you know, So we'll call it from October to mid February. So let's just say from October 2018 to April 1st, 2019. Let's just say, same time frame with this nonsense we got going on. And according to their numbers, you know, you hear these millions. Look, 490,000 people was in the hospital. 34,000 people died. Now, if you want to see what that percentage is, you got 34,000. Mind you, this is just the United States. That's how many people died out of the people that was hospitalized. Divide that by 490,561. Round it up, 7%. You move that decimal over two places, 7%. It's a pretty high number. That's just the flu season. 34th, 490,000. So you're talking last year. This time last year, we should have been doing something about it. We was trying to curve it, you know, just based off of those numbers. I don't get it. Before I look at the hospitals, how many people died so far? See, uh, maybe they got it. Like I said, I'm trying not to say it because YouTube is on that. They on that dumb stuff. See, when you look at this chart, you'll think it's high, but again, 50,000, 100, so 350,000 people. That's how many cases they got. So you look at that with 350,000 people. That's cases. So this will be cases right here, 35.5 million. But we call it medical visits, 16.5 million. Those are cases, right? And don't say hospitalized. Just people, stuff that people reported. That's ridiculous. 350,000. The last timeline was this say October to February. But like I said, let's just say at the same time frame. I give you a couple more months. You talking about 16.5 million visits, people that were cases, 490,000. Crazy. 34,000 people died. Let's see if they give us the deaths real quick. Uh, Again, no million. It ain't no millions yet. They say it can go up. Mind you, remember this is 16 million, not two. Okay, where's the death at? See again, and I'm getting it right from the horse's mouth. These websites is nutty. So according to this how many people died? 12,000. 2 million tested. You know, 13,000. 13,000. Now, same time frame, half the number. Now, again, let's just say the numbers could increase. So my thing is, we're gonna do the same thing next year. Is they gonna say the flu and the other one is combined and hitting us, or like we're gonna shut the economy down? Now, my whole problem is, like I said, you got a lot of these people. There's somebody else doing the same thing. A lot of these people are, they're
It
going to
was
the
trending on social media. Hashtag
they're going to the hospitals to see if it's actually packed. It ain't here in Philly.
film your hospital. A bunch of people around the nation upon hearing these reports of the hospitals being overflowed, the emergency room being packed, that they need beds outside and tents outside because there's just this massive flow of patients coming in due to the coronavirus outbreak. Well, these people took it upon themselves to get out into their own community, to go film their own hospitals, to see if what these mainstream media reports were reporting about these hospitals that are completely overloaded was true. Now, they hashtagged it, Film Your Hospital. You're looking at some of the video on your screen. I do want to start with a gentleman here in Denver, Colorado, Brandon Bowser, who visited a hospital named St. Joseph. Take a listen to what he had to say.
This is St. Joseph's Hospital. Parking lot is empty. I went inside of St. Joseph's and I went in several different waiting rooms, and there was no more than one person in each waiting room that I went into. The emergency over there is slow as can be, and every nurse I've talked to has told me that they're extremely slow and that there's not much going on.
Okay, so on all of these videos that I came across, I'm just showing you a handful of them. There are many, many, many of them on social media. I'm hearing the same story over and over again. This next video, if we could bring it up, this is Marlo.
See, they act like they're surprised, but they're not. The media is the one causing the pandemic. You know, in China, they was killing, they call them whistleblowers. Now look at this. Hospitals are actually about to lay off staffs. Uh,
Healthcare companies are making hard decisions about staffing as they prepare for a surge of COVID-19 patients. Essentia Health in Duluth cut 500 non-medical staff.
Fairview Health says services that it's looking at will have a reduction in staff as well. WCCO's Jennifer Merrill's been looking into this. I know for both companies and many more, money, finances, Jen, are kind of the bottom line on this.
It is, Frank. They report revenue is down as elective and non-critical procedures have been postponed, and there's an increase in spending for new equipment and supplies. While Fairview Health Services figures that out, employees who want to work say they're left in limbo.
now look here. They're acting like listen, it just doesn't add up. Now let me show you something. They're laying off because ain't nobody coming to these hospitals, so there's no money to be made. You got a lot of people at home right now, so everybody's nursing themselves back together. If they are sick, there's no reason to go to the hospital. But these hospitals are already empty. You know, guys that do construction, guys that is out active, guys that's out drinking and driving. All of these things lead to people needing to go to the hospital, crashing, getting hurt, getting injured. You in the house, what are the odds of you getting hurt? You ain't doing construction, you ain't doing no skateboarding, you can't play no basketball. What are the odds of you getting hurt? So the hospitals are empty. But these hospitals are literally laying off workers because ain't nobody there. See, this is where I'm at. Philly, the Enquirer, Boston. Uh, not even sure where this is at. I'm telling you, don't use Google. All right, I'm at the end of the video there. You know, At the end of the day, there's gonna be who knows how many parts, and I'm not really spending time going to edit it up all nice and clean. I just don't have the time to do all that. But recap: the guy wants to come in from the WHO, take your kids if he feel if they deem that that's where the disease is coming from, which is nonsense. New York Cuomo acting like they need 1,000 ventilators. He already was court hoarding them, and on top of that, they got that Navy ship over in New York. Supposed to hold 1,000 people. For the hospital beds. Only 20 of them is being used as of April 8th, 2020. So that's over 900 and 50 of them free. There's 980 available. These hospitals are they're empty and they're laying off workers because it ain't nobody coming there. Ain't no money being spent. Like I said, we sticking with the facts so far. But you can easily draw your own conclusions. So stay tuned for part two. And the other thing is, subscribe, try to spread the videos because the algorithm sucks with this thing going on. So help spread the video. Post comments. What y'all think? What do y'all really think going on? What do y'all really believe? What y'all hear on TV? And I will leave you with this. Back in before TVs was invented, back in the radio days, it was the media that spread the hoax that had people committing suicide, where they act like it was an alien invasion. Before the media age, before TV was invented, back when they used to listen to the radios. Oh man, search that up. Radio radio station, says there's an alien invasion. Just look it up. Yeah, people killing themselves over that. But anyway, until the next video, subscribe and spread the video, post a comment.